back to Choice Bits of Bliss. My name is Cilla, and I have a special surprise for you today just for Valentine's. That Jeanielinguine, her brain was going again, and she came up with this idea to invite our spouses to join us in doing a layout. So I would like for you to meet my husband.
Hello.
He is going to be sharing some thoughts and probably not about the design, but he's got some things that he would like to say about the layout that we've created. We talked a lot about what we wanted to share, and we decided that 2014 was like our vintage year. That was, yeah, epic is a good word.
Yeah.
Yes. So first, I'm going to cover the design, and then we're going to talk about the actual events that's on our layout. This one I wanted to show. I've been using that paper pad. I know y'all were doubters, and you didn't think I would use a Halloween paper pad this year, but I am, because the B-sides were so very versatile and usable. They're just kind of generic designs and easily used. Now, this layout was created using a lot of the paper from that Halloween paper pad that I got for a screaming deal. And it is about when we went whitewater rafting in 2014, of course.
Which you didn't share, you were petrified of.
I did not tell you. But down here at the bottom it says the best part of the trip, and I wrote surviving. So yeah, I was terrified to go whitewater rafting, and it turned out that the rivers that we were rafting were up.
Yeah. It was the beginning of the new year, so the spring melt and high water levels, and we were what, the only couple on the trip? Or
yeah, everybody else were either training to be a guide or they were already certified guides.
Correct.
So we were the only two outsiders on the boat.
So we got special attention.
We survived, and that's all that matters. So that is...
Admit it, deep down, you had fun.
Yeah, I can say that now. I was talking to Jesus a lot while we were in that boat. So that is that layout. And all of the papers that we're talking about today and that I used are part of my ginormous kit, Clean Your Desk Off, for Mini Kit Monday. So I've got 2 layouts done now. So yay for that. Now we're going to talk about this layout, because it is my showstopper. If you remember, back when I showed my kit for Mini Kit Monday, and I have another video where I had shown some papers that I said they just fell together and I loved how it looked. Well, the scalloped circle, I cut this out of the middle of it. So that this is what I wanted, was this brown scalloped circle that fell on this Prima paper, and I just think it's beautiful. I used leftovers, the scraps from my basil cream puff to edge. This that I've matted my photos, I don't know if you can see that paper, that's a grid, is from scraps from this die cut. So I'm really making use of that Halloween paper.
You're very creative.
Thank you, honey. And I had some leftovers from my Valentines. Now, I did not do any layouts with the Valentine's paper, but I did make some Galentines for my friends. And this is what I made, that I mailed out to my friends. And I made cards for our children.
You did.
And we sent those out. But some of the leftovers, this is from one of the border strip pages from that. So it says, love is not wanting to go to sleep because reality is better than a dream. And now we're just going to talk about this one particular week that we had in August of 2014.
It started because you had a convention for the Postal Service.
Yes.
And that was the location.
Yes, we went to Reno. And getting there was a little bit of a challenge.
I was coming from Toronto, and I got to the airport, and there was an epic thunderstorm rolling across, which delayed my flight getting out of Toronto. So by the time I got to LAX, where my connecting flight to Reno was going to be at, I don't know, what was it?
It was in the afternoon, but
it started out in the afternoon. By the time I got to LAX, it was close to midnight, and I had to secure my luggage. And then, with about 2 minutes remaining, I finally made it back because my connecting flight was canceled. I finally made it back into the secure area of LAX through security, so that it wasn't out in the open public, and then ended up having to sleep on the floor of the gate, waiting for the Reno flight, which was scheduled to take off next morning at 7 a.m.
So, yeah, that just getting there was an adventure. My flights were fine. I flew from, I think, Atlanta, if I'm not mistaken, into Reno, no problems. One, no stops.
Yeah.
Just
I can look back on it now, and sleeping in an airport is an adventure that I don't want to repeat.
But so far, we haven't had to.
Getting to you and this weekend was, in hindsight, and then worth it.
So something that we had done early in our dating years is we were both very conscientious about taking care of our responsibilities and our children and not allowing that life to cross over into the life that we were beginning together dating. And so Sean had every other week.
Yeah, week on, week off. Yeah.
And I had my youngest son almost full time. So I would have to get my sister to come to the house, and she would stay with my son. And we traveled. We traveled sometimes once a month, sometimes 2 to 3 times a month to go see each other. And we took advantage of this convention in Reno to see each other. And Sean had told me that he had bought tickets for us to go do something. And he mentioned, Shakespeare, if you'll remember, we're both professionals. We're both just always busy. And so, you get bits and pieces of information. It doesn't really sink in. So he had told me he had bought tickets, mentioned something about Shakespeare. And that's kind of how it hit my subconscious. I was like, oh, whatever. So our very first, so Monday night after which Mondays are always really busy and packed with activities at the conventions. So I was running wide open all day Monday. I'm not even sure what you were doing.
I don't even remember. I remember one of the days I was looking up one of the other days that we're gonna talk about. But,
right. Yeah. But that night we had tickets
to go see
the Shakespeare.
The Lake Tahoe Shakespeare Festival or something like that. I can't remember what the exact name is, but it's basically a stage right on the shores of Lake Tahoe where they put on a Shakespearean play.
And we were seeing As You Like It, as you can see our bill. While we were waiting for the play to start, remember we saw the hang gliders coming over the mountains?
The kites, hang gliders, kite surfers, and then the whole, just riding on the winds going up the Sierra Nevada mountains, and the what are they called, the drafts or whatever they call it. But yeah.
It was just a really surreal. So many times this happened while we were dating. It was just like the weather was perfect. We were sitting out there. We've got these light winds, and it's not hot. It's not cold. It's just the absolute perfection. We've got this beautiful vista.
Yeah, unlike the next day.
So we had such a good time this night. At the Shakespeare, they advertised that they were going to have a jazz performance the next night at the same location. Yeah. And we were like, yeah, we're going to do that for sure.
For sure, yeah.
So we bought tickets quickly. And
without looking at the forecast.
We did not pay attention to that. So the next night on Tuesday, and this is the same week of the convention, we went back. Now, Tuesdays we have a lot of training at the convention. So Tuesdays, my brain is just exhausted because we have a lot of training mandatory that we have to go to. And once again, I'm just running all day long. Sean's kicking back, relaxing. This is the story of our life, by the way.
Well, I didn't work that year. The 2014, I stopped work so that, well, I'm going to use the story.
You were in between contracts.
I was in between contracts, and I'm going to use the story that I quit work so I can spend time with you. That's my story.
That's what you're going to go with?
That's what I'm going with, yeah.
Okay.
Well, it worked out that way.
It did. So he's living the life of Riley. I'm just, running wild, trying to get everything in so that we can make it that evening to the jazz performance. And we had, earlier in the year, had gotten this wine.
That's right.
And Savannah.
Savannah, yeah.
Pink Floyd.
Dark Side of the Moon, or, that's the symbol is Dark Side of the Moon. I'm not sure what the wine was called, but yeah.
So I had packed that bottle of wine and brought it to Reno for us to enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
And
makeshift charcuterie board on plastic trays.
Yes, we had ordered that.
Yeah.
I'm not a wine drinker, by the way. I didn't really know that at this time.
Especially red.
Especially red. And I think Sean drank that wine. So,
did you drive back?
I had a nominal amount, and then that's pretty much, that was it for me. It rained, and we thought it was going to rain the jazz performance out.
Yeah.
We were out waiting to receive our tickets because we had already purchased them. So we were in the will call line or whatever when it started raining. And Sean had on a little light jacket that was waterproof. I did not. And complete strangers gathered together and got me a garbage bag.
Yeah, we got garbage bags. They're very stylish.
And they draped me in a garbage bag, and I put the hoodie up on my sweatshirt, and we had the best night. Dancing in the rain.
We danced in the rain. There was a big band jazz, so it was like I don't know how many pieces, 20 piece or something like that. It was big. It was a lot of fun.
It was really good music. Great time. Absolutely phenomenal night. And then we come to Wednesday, and while Sean was chilling in the room.
Yeah, just scrolling around on, I don't even know what, looking for a place to go that day. Yeah.
So when I got out of my meetings on Wednesday, which by this time we're kind of, we're going down in schedule, where things are beginning to kind of loosen up a little bit. We're getting ready for our kickoff banquet and, not kickoff banquet, our closing banquet. So Wednesday was not as crazy, and I think we were done by lunch.
Yeah, I think we kicked out and headed over to Donner Pass at, it was around noon. Yeah.
So we had rented a car, by the way, and we're able to, drive around and go do whatever we wanted to do. And he had found this place called...
It's Donner Pass railway tunnels. Elevation 7,000 feet above sea level. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, we decided to go hiking, and we hiked for several hours, and it started raining again while we were up there. I was beginning to get, because we were very, very high up. We had gone even above the train tunnels. We had hiked way up into the mountains.
Above the tree line, yeah. Well, you can just see just a few trees. Yeah. The trees below us. But
So we had hiked pretty high up, and it started raining, and I started getting kind of worried that we were going to, if we slipped and fell, it was over. We were done.
Yeah. But the train tunnels were covered, and we wandered through the train tunnels that are all covered in graffiti, and so it was fascinating. They were built, if I remember correctly, they were built by one of the Chinese immigrants back at the turn of the century, and just carved straight through rocks at the very top of the Sierra Nevada mountains, and I don't think they're not used anymore.
They're abandoned.
Yeah, they're abandoned, but it's a fascinating journey to walk through. It's fairly flat in the tunnels because it's a railway, so the rail yards, obviously, the rail trains can't.
We took a lot of photos of the graffiti.
Took a lot of photos of the graffiti and the surrounding area, and
just absolutely,
and just kind of
beautiful.
Kind of drizzled on and off, and when it started to drizzle, we went into a tunnel, and when it stopped, we came out, and we had lunch and over a mountain lake, and remember correctly,
we did.
Yeah,
it was beautiful. So this week was amazing, to say the least. And we decided to stay an extra day. Mm-hmm. So on Thursday was the end of the convention, and they had a drawing for a car.
Yeah, a little electric car. More like a go-kart, I think, is it? Or not a golf cart.
It was a
fancy golf cart.
It was a fancy golf cart, basically. But it was enclosed.
It was. Yeah. Almost looked like it was like a
had 2-seater.
little 2-seater cross between like a smart car and a golf cart.
Right.
What it kind of came down to, yeah.
I won. I won that crazy little car. And on Friday was our fly home day. And Sean and I decided to go. We were that close. Might as well.
Yeah.
Make it to San Francisco.
Yeah. So I changed around my flights to, instead of going out of Reno to San Francisco to Toronto, we picked up so I changed all that. Went from San Francisco to Philadelphia to Toronto to get back. But yeah, it gave us
a few more hours.
It gave us the day in San Francisco. Yeah.
So I think we ended up, by the time we drove to San Francisco from Reno, we had 4 hours in San Francisco, and we were running crazy.
Jammed it all in.
Because there were certain things we wanted to do. Sean wanted to go see Haight-Ashbury.
Haight-Ashbury, yeah.
I wanted to see the Golden Gate Bridge.
Yeah, which we did. Yeah.
And for some reason, we picked up Quake Tower.
Yeah, we went up to Telegraph. I think, if I remember correctly,
was that like one of the things we had to do?
I don't know, but we did it. We did it. So yeah, it was. Well, it was
like a zillion steps up Telegraph Hill.
It was, and the taxi driver that got us over the Golden Gate Bridge.
He was a crusty piece of.
He was, but he was funny.
He was such a Grinch. He did not think that we could even see the Golden Gate Bridge because of the fog. Right. And he kept telling us it's a wasted trip. And what does it matter? We're paying the bill here. So. Yeah. But he got us there. Yeah. And then he took us down to a special place so that we could get a better view.
Yeah, he did. And then he drove us over, I think, to the pier where we had lunch. We took a trolley, too, if I remember correctly.
We did. That was over to Haight-Ashbury.
Right. And then I think it was just like book it to the airport so that I could make my flight. And then you almost fell asleep on the way back to Reno.
I got pulled over.
You did get pulled over. Which you didn't share with me until later.
Well, you were in flight, so it didn't matter. But anyway, this was just a phenomenal week that we enjoyed together.
It was one of those formative weeks in terms of our relationship.
Because
some milestones, yeah.
Up to this point, I had it in my head. Now, Sean had never said anything, but I had it in my head that we were breaking up at some point in time because this was all just for fun.
We lived 900 miles away.
We lived 900 miles away from each other, and this was not meant to be a forever thing. Well, little did I know. Mm-hmm. But that week, I asked Sean if he would just indulge me
and your concerns,
and just let me stop thinking about breaking up all the time. And he was like, "What? Sure, okay, no problem."
I'm not thinking about it.
He wasn't thinking about it, but I can remember almost exactly where we were on the highway on our ride back from Donner Pass.
Back from Donner Pass, yeah.
That I just was like, I want to be with this man probably forever.
And I couldn't think about being without you, so it worked out well.
I'm more emotive. And that moment was so full of angst for me to just say, can we stop thinking about breaking up? And he was like, sure, okay.
Sure. I don't think about it anyway, so go for
it. Going back to the layout. So everything is kind of weighted. I allowed the papers to do the work for the design. And my title is pretty much the only additional decorating that I've done. So that is our layout. That is our story.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you have a beautiful Valentine with your love. And we will come back and do something else scrappy related at another time.
Happy Valentine's Day. I love you, Cilla.
I love you, Sean.
Bye.
Bye.